Hey guys, this is CA Sachin Jain from Jodhpur, and today we are going to start our discussion on a very important topic, that is GST audit and assessment. So before starting the session, I just want to confirm one thing, that my voice is audible and the presentation is visible to all of you. Just comment in the chat box. Chat box is also here. So you just need to comment in the chat box so that we can start the session. So I am waiting for your reply. Just comment in the chat box that the presentation is visible and my voice is audible to you so that we can start the session. Yes, I am getting reply that my voice is audible and the presentation is visible to you. So, sir, today we are going to start our discussion on a very important topic, that is GST audit and assessment. So, before starting the session, I just want to share certain thing with you, that in between the session, if you have any question regarding the topic, so it is my request to you, just comment in the chat box. We'll take the your query immediately, or if time permits, we will take the query at the end of the session. Also, we had created one WhatsApp group for you, so you can raise your queries in that WhatsApp group. Also, in future also I am available for you. If you have any question, if you have any query, you can raise the same in the chat box. So if you have any query, you can raise the same in the chat box or in the WhatsApp group. Mode of communication of this session will be in Hindi and English both. Okay. More emphasis is on English, and certain examples we are going to share in Hindi language also. So आई डोंट वांट कि ये सेशन ऐसा हो कि मैं किसी कैमरे के सामने बैठा हूं और केवल लेक्चर दे रहा हूं. This session should be interactive. If you have any point, if you have any question, you can raise the same in the chat box. If you have any suggestion or feedback also, you can send the same in the chat box. You are free for that. Okay, sir? Or in future for discussion, we have the WhatsApp group. You can connect with me over that. So with that, I am going to start the share session. In this session, uh, the crowd is certain persons are from department and certain are chartered accountants and professionals. Okay, so this is quite difficult for me, but I will try to complete all the content from the GST audit from department point of view as well as from professional authority, that is chartered accountant and जो भी professionals है जो इस audit को देख रहे हैं या फिर audit conduct करवाने के अंदर काम कर रहे हैं, तो उनके लिए ये एक यूजफुल टूल हो सकता है. एंड वी आर आल्सो गोइंग टू डिस्कस ऑन द प्रोविजंस एज वेल एज द प्रैक्टिकल सिनेरियोस इन दिस सेशन. ओके, एंड टाइम टू टाइम मैं आपसे कुछ क्वेश्चन हो सकता है रेज करूंगा, सो प्लीज बी विथ मी. Provide the reply in the chat box so that we can use the deliberation, we can use the things which we are going to discuss in our today's session in future in our practical cases. Okay, sir? So with that, I am going to start the session. Most of the people will most probably join late, but we are going to start the session on time. If you have any question, chat box is there. Mode of communication Hindi and English. Okay, sir? And physical material, that is the material is already provided to you in the WhatsApp group. You can download the same, but this is my humble submission to you. In between the session, there is no requirement to open that material. This is for future references. You just need to look into the screen, and on that particular screen, the same file is open. Okay, and I am going to discuss the same, so there is no requirement to download that material at that time. अगर आपने पहले उसको download किया है, is that completely okay? Okay, sir. So टॉपिक नेम इज जीएसटी ऑडिट एंड असेसमेंट। सो सर, वैसे तो आपके सामने चैट है, डिस्प्ले है, आपको दिख रहा होगा। व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन ऑडिट एंड असेसमेंट? एक बार इसको न देखें, बिफोर गोइंग टू द पीडीएफ फाइल, you just need to think in your mind that what is the difference between audit and assessment. सर, कई बार क्या होता है, हम लोगों को प्रोसीजर पता है, वी ऑल नो दैट हाउ वी कैन डू द ऑडिट, व्हाट हाउ वी कैन डू द असेसमेंट, व्हाट वी नीड टू डू इन दैट पर्टिकुलर ऑडिट एंड असेसमेंट, बट we have no idea about the definition of audit and assessment. So for that purposes, I just want to ask the question that what is the difference between audit and assessment, sir? What is the difference between audit and assessment? So one by one we are going to discuss the difference. Okay, first of all, audit means an audit is an examination to verify the accuracy about the results. That means, sir, when you had filed the return, suppose this session is completely related to the GST audit and assessment. Okay, so I am going to talk from that perspective. That means audit means when I am going to file my GST return as a taxpayer, and when authority will check, that is departmental authority will check the accuracy, because I am not going to check my data, I am not going to check the accuracy, I am just going to file the return on the basis of my data, on the basis of my sales and purchase, but I am not going to verify the accuracy. But in case of audit, departmental authority is going to verify the accuracy of that data. That is what is called as the audit. That means as a professional, as a chartered accountant, when I am going to do the income tax audit, okay, at that time I am doing the checking of the accuracy of the data, that the sales reported is okay, the figure presented in the financial statement is okay, and all that. Okay, so audit means an examination to verify the accuracy. But in case of assessment, there is a judgment. When I am going to file my GSTR 3B return on the portal, at that time I am just going to judge that my sales is that, my purchase is that, my RCM liability is that, my import is that, my export is that. Okay, so judgment is an assessment is a judgment. Next, audit is done by a person other than who produced the documents. That means हमेशा इनकम टैक्स की ऑडिट भी एक दूसरा बंदा करता है. Also, GST audit is also done by an another person. जबकि assessment can be done by himself. I can do my assessment when I am going to file my GSTR 3B return as a taxable person. I am talking from that perspective. As a taxable person, when I am going to file my GSTR 3B return, at that time I am declaring my sales. I am also declaring my income tax credit. I am also declaring my other liabilities. That means I am going to assess myself. So assessment can be done by himself and audit can be done by another party. Audit must be done by another party. Next, audit shall determine after the assessment for determining the liability. Sir, I had filed my GSTR 3B return on basis of my assessment. Okay. After that, department will take that case into scrutiny or into business audit, whatever will be the same. In that case, department will going to do the audit. So the judgment, the assessment is the first step and audit is the second step. Is that clear, sir? The difference between audit and assessment. Just confirm me in the chat box that the difference between audit and assessment is clear. The term audit and assessment is clear for you. This session is just for the clearance of your concepts regarding the audit and assessment. Also, we are going to discuss how we need to handle the audit and assessment, but our more focus is on the provisions, that what is the provisions related to the audit and assessment, and we are going to discuss the same in a practical way. But before moving ahead, just confirm me once in the chat box that the difference between audit and assessment is okay for you. Sir, I am waiting for your reply. Just confirm me. Now, आप जितना जल्दी मुझे रिप्लाई देंगे उतना जल्दी वी आर गोइंग टू कवर मोर कंटेंट. ओके, सो नाउ सर, टाइप ऑफ असेसमेंट, आई विल ट्राई माय बेस्ट के हम लोग आज जो भी डिस्कस करें, व्हाटएवर थिंग्स वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस, आपको मेमोराइज हो जाए चीजें. ओके, चाहे वेदर यू आर अ डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी और वेदर यू आर अ चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट प्रोफेशनल, दोनों पर्सपेक्टिव से आज हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं. ना सर, टाइप ऑफ असेसमेंट, असेसमेंट मींस हम लोगों ने अभी डिस्कस किया, असेसमेंट कैन बी डन बाय हिमसेल्फ एंड ऑडिट ऑलवेज डन बाय अनदर पार्टी. That means when I am going to file my GST or 3B return, that is I am declaring my output tax and I am claiming input tax credit. At that time I am doing the self assessment because मैं खुद असेस कर रहा हूं कि मेरी सेल्स इतनी है, मेरी परचेज इतनी है. सो फर्स्ट टाइप ऑफ असेसमेंट इज सेल्फ असेसमेंट. दैट इज व्हाट इज द सेल्फ असेसमेंट. डीपली हम लोग इसको जाकर के डिस्कस करेंगे. व्हाट आर द रिटर्न्स इन व्हिच वी आर गोइंग टू डू द सेल्फ असेसमेंट, ऑल द थिंग्स वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस. बट basically I just want to give the idea about that what is in that self assessment. When I am going to file my GST or 3B return and I am declaring my sales and purchases, at that time I am going to do the self assessment. Second, सर, कई बार ऐसी सिचुएशन होती है, मल्टीपल टाइम वी आर गोइंग टू फेस दैट सिचुएशन. एट दैट टाइम वी आर नॉट इन सिचुएशन, वी आर नॉट एबल टू डिसाइड द वैल्यू और रेट. सपोज आपने कोई ऐसी सप्लाई कर दी, आप उसकी वैल्यू डिसाइड नहीं कर पा रहे हो, या फिर आपको ये आइडिया नहीं है कि इस दैट पर्टिकुलर सप्लाई पे व्हाट विल बी द रेट. 18% चार्ज करना है, 28% चार्ज करना है, और we need to charge multiple rate. This supply should be considered as composite supply or mixed supply. All that things are there. In that case, you can take the reference of departmental authority. You can file an application to the departmental authority that sir, we are not able to decide the rate and value of that supply, so kindly help us. In that particular case, departmental authority will give you provisional decision that sir, you need to pay the taxes at this rate and the value will be that this. And after a significant time we are going to do the final assess. So in that case, when departmental authority is going to decide the provisional liability and provisional tax rate, in that case that assessment should be called as provisional assessment. First assessment, when I am going to do the self, that is when I am going to file my GST or 3B return, that is my self assessment. Second, when departmental authority is going to do the provisional बेसिस पे लाइबिलिटी डिक्लेयर कर रहा है या फिर आपकी रेट और वैल्यू डिसाइड कर रहा है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट. थर्ड टाइम, सर, सपोज आई एम लाइबल टू फाइल द GST return and I am liable to take the GST registration because my turnover got crossed the limit, the specified limit, 20 lakh, 40 lakh, whatever will be the limit. My turnover has crossed the limit. In that case, I need to take the registration. But suppose मैंने वो registration नहीं लिया, I fail to take that registration. In that case, departmental authority is going to do my assessment as an unregistered person. Sir, your turnover got exceeded by this amount. So, as per our calculation, as per our data, as per the documents which is available with us, this is your liability. At that time, if department is going to do that type of assessment, that is called as assessment of unregistered person. Fourth, suppose I had taken the registration, but I had not filed the return. I had not filed my GST or 3B return. I had not filed my final return. Okay. In that case, if departmental authority is going to do the assessment on the basis of information available with that authority, that is called as assessment of non-return filers. So conclusively we can say there are four type of assessments are available. First, when I am file my GST or 3B return, I am doing the self assessment. Second, I am not able to decide the rate and value. If I am going to the departmental authority and departmental authority is going to provisionally decide my rate and value, that is called as provisional assessment. Third, we had not taken the registration, I had not taken the registration. In that case, if departmental authority is going to do that assessment, that is called as assessment of unregistered person. And if I had taken the registration and after that I am not going to file the return, that is called as my assessment of non-return filers. Sir, is that okay? Types of assessment. Although we are going to discuss deeply on these four type of assessment, but just confirm me that the basic terms self-assessment, provisional assessment, unregistered and non-return filers is okay for you. I just want to confirm that each and everything is okay for you. Okay, sir. And also my speed is okay ना. कहीं पर भी अगर आपको लगे कि स्पीड एक्सेस हो रही है या फिर स्पीड मुझे मैनेज करने की रिक्वायरमेंट है, यू जस्ट नीड टू कमेंट इन द चैट बॉक्स. चैट बॉक्स इज ओपन इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी so that I can manage my speed also. But we have limited amount of time, 2 hours, so I am going to manage the content with my speed. Is that okay, sir? Now, टाइप ऑफ ऑडिट सर, हम लोगों ने बोला ऑडिट एंड असेसमेंट, असेसमेंट के टाइम ऑलरेडी डन। नाउ टाइप्स ऑफ ऑडिट, when department is going to issue the letter, okay, we can say the love letter, that is our ADT 0 ADT 01 जब देता है बिजनेस ऑडिट के लिए, या फिर जब स्क्रूटनी में केस लेता है, at that time when business audit is going on, that is called as audit by the department, that is when audit is done by the departmental authority. Second, special audit, when audit is done by the special authority, that is chartered accountant and the cost accountant, that is कोई ऐसा ट्रांजैक्शन है जिसका क्वांटम बहुत ह्यूज है या फिर उसके अंदर कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी बहुत ज्यादा है, उसके बेसिस पे डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी डिसाइड करती है कि वी आर नॉट एबल टू डू दैट ऑडिट और वी नीड एन एक्सपर्ट एडवाइस इन दैट केस, सो डिपार्टमेंट कैन रेफर दैट केस टू द expert authority, that is chartered accountant or cost accountant, and this audit is done by the special person, hence that audit should be called as special audit. So two types of audit are there, डिपार्टमेंटल ऑडिट, स्पेशल ऑडिट। ओके सर। सो कई बार क्या होता है, डिपार्टमेंट अथॉरिटी जब नॉन रिटर्न फाइलर्स का असेसमेंट करती है या फिर अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन का असेसमेंट करती है, एट दैट टाइम वो नोटिस दे देती है डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी के आपका टर्नओवर इस लिमिट से एक्सेस कर रहा है एंड यू नीड टू टेक द रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द डॉक्यूमेंट अवेलेबल विद दैट। इन दैट केस अगर वहां पर कोई लैकुना रह जाता है उनकी कैलकुलेशन में, दिस इज माय सजेशन फॉर द डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी आल्सो, व्हेन यू आर गोइंग टू इशू सच टाइप ऑफ नोटिसेस, जस्ट not depend on the system, just calculate the external confirmation, just take the external confirmation that actual में उसका टर्नओवर क्रॉस हो रहा है या फिर नहीं हो रहा है, वरना क्या होता है वो डॉक्यूमेंट्स ला करके सबमिट करता है और अननेसेसरी कंप्लायंस की बर्डन यहाँ पर बढ़ जाती है, सो वी कैन टेक केयर ऑफ दिस। सो नाउ अभी तक हम लोगों ने डिफरेंस बिटवीन ऑडिट एंड असेसमेंट कवर कर लिया, देन आफ्टर वी हैड कवर्ड द टाइप ऑफ असेसमेंट, सेल्फ, प्रोविजनल, अनरजिस्टर्ड, नॉन रिटर्न फाइलर्स, and type of audit, departmental audit and special audit. Now we are going to start our discussion point by point. Section 59 of CGST Act, if you are a departmental authority or you are a chartered accountant or you are a practicing professional, in that case when you are facing any litigation, you are facing any type of litigation or you need to go for any appeal or all that, in that case जब भी आप कोई reply file कर रहे हो, when you are going to file a reply in front of the departmental authority, this is our prima facie responsibility, we need to talk in the language of sections. Okay, so it will be useful for the departmental authority as well as for us. Don't type that as per the self assessment हमने ये किया है, हमने ये किया है, as per section 59 of CGST, we need to take the reference of section. If possible, then put the extract of that particular section with your reply. If possible, then you can put certain case studies related to your particular case so that your matter will be strong and departmental authority can decide the case accordingly. Is that okay, sir? Now सेल्फ असेसमेंट मींस सेक्शन 59 के अंदर केवल इतना सा ही लिखा हुआ है कि व्हेन समवन इज गोइंग टू फाइल द रिटर्न इन सेक्शन 39 ऑफ सीजीएसटी एक्ट, at that time that person is going to do the self assessment. Now we need to read the section 39 के section 39 में हम लोग कौन कौन से रिटर्न फाइल करते हैं। बेसिकली लॉ की लैंग्वेज हम लोग रीड आउट करेंगे, बट बेसिकली मैं आपको बता दूं कि हम लोग सेक्शन 39 में कौन कौन से रिटर्न फाइल करते हैं, व्हाट टाइप ऑफ रिटर्न्स वी आर गोइंग टू फाइल इन सेक्शन 39। सर माय जीएसटीआर 3B आई एम गोइंग टू फाइल, if I am a composition taxable person, in that case CMP 08 I am going to file, that is also when at that time when I am going to file the CMP 08, at that time also I am going to declare my output liability and I am going to pay tax at a certain percentage, okay, at a concessional rate of tax, and in that case I am not eligible to claim the input tax credit. I am just going to clear the figures, then after we are also going to read the language of law. So GSTR 3B CMP 08, if I am an input service distributor and I need to transfer my input tax credit to my branches, in that case I need to file GSTR 6 return for transferring the input tax credit. So in that case when I am going to transfer that input tax credit, at that time I am also doing the self assessment. Fourth, if I am a TDS deductor, अगर अपन कोई गवर्नमेंटल अथॉरिटी का काम करते हैं, गवर्नमेंटल एजेंसी का काम करते हैं, at that time they are going to deduct a TDS certain percentage, एट द रेट ऑफ सर्टेन परसेंटेज। जब वो टीडीएस को डिक्लेयर कर रही है वो गवर्नमेंटल एंटिटी, गवर्नमेंटल अथॉरिटी, वो भी तो टीडीएस का रिटर्न ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ सेल्फ असेसमेंट कि हमने इतनी वैल्यू का काम करवाया है। So that is also called as the self assessment. So typically these types of assessment, in these cases we are going to do the self assessment. Also, if I had taken the registration as a non resident taxable person, in that case if I am going to declare my output liability, at that time also I am doing the self assessment. Okay sir, so basically these things, in these cases I am going to do the self assessment. Now सेक्शन 39 में क्या क्या लिखा हुआ है? सेक्शन 39 सबसेक्शन 1 सेज every registered person other than input service distributor, non-resident taxable person, person paying tax under provision of section 10, that is your composition taxable person. section 51, section 52, that is your TDS TCS deductor. ओके सर, अगर आपको इन सेक्शंस का आइडिया नहीं है, दिस इज माय हम्बल सबमिशन टू यू, यू कैन नोट द सेम ऑन अ पेपर एंड पेपर सो दैट इट विल बी इजी फॉर यू. For every calendar month and part thereof furnish a return electronically. That means इस लैंग्वेज में उसने ये बोला है कि आप इनपुट सर्विस डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को निकाल दो, नॉन रेजिडेंट टैक्सेबल पर्सन को निकाल दो, टीडीएस टीटीएस डिडक्टर को निकाल दो. इन दैट केस पीछे बचता है रेगुलर टैक्सेबल पर्सन. Or when a regular taxable person is going to file the GSTR3B return, at that time he is doing the self assessment. If he has opted the QRMP scheme, quarterly return monthly payment, if the turnover is below 5 crore rupees, in that case he need to pay the taxes on monthly basis, but he need to file the return on quarterly basis. That means जब वो उसका quarterly return file करेगा तब हम ये कहेंगे कि उस बंदे ने यहाँ पर self assessment किया है. This is specifically for QRMP scheme, and for regular person is going to file the GSTR3B return on monthly basis. Okay sir. Now subsection 2 talks about the composition taxable person. If the turnover is below 1.5 crore rupees, in that case I can go for the composition taxable scheme. And if I am going to file the return under composition taxable scheme, in that case I need to pay the tax at a certain percentage, 1%, 6%, whatever will be the rate as per your product and services. In that case, when I am declaring my output liability, I am doing the self assessment. So regular covered, QRMP scheme covered, composition scheme covered. Then TDS TCS deductor is also doing the self assessment, or they are also going to file the return on the basis of self assessment. Okay sir. Now subsection 4 is talking about input service distributor. When any input service distributor is going to distribute the input tax credit to their branches, at that time that ISD is also going to do the self assessment. Fifth, subsection 5, non-resident taxable person. When any non-resident taxable person is going to file the monthly return or file the final return. I suppose you all know the concept of non-resident taxable person, NRTP. In that case, उसको एक specific period के लिए registration लेना होता है. Then after that NRTP has to pay certain amount of taxes beginning of the tax period. Okay. और जब उसका final काम वहां से हो जाएगा, because वो एक specified period के लिए लेता है, उस टाइम उसको फाइनल रिटर्न फाइल करना होता है. और एट द टाइम ऑफ फाइलिंग ऑफ द फाइनल रिटर्न, अगर उसका टैक्स पेबल या फिर रिफंडेबल बन रहा है, व्हाटएवर बी द सिचुएशन एज पर द कैलकुलेशन, वो चीज जब वो करता है, एट दैट टाइम दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द self assessment for NRTP. Now subsection 6 says commissioner has the power to extend the timeline to file the return. सर 17 18 18 19 19 20 में मल्टीपल टाइम ऐसा हुआ है जब रिटर्न की डेट एक्सटेंड हुई है. एज अ प्रोफेशनल वी आर गोइंग टू यूज द लैंग्वेज दैट पोर्टल पे डेट एक्सटेंड हो गई, गवर्नमेंट ने डेट एक्सटेंड कर दी. But as a professional, we need to use the language that as per section 39 subsection 6 of CGST Act, commissioner has the power to extend the GST timeline. So commissioner ने यहाँ पर date को extend किया है, timeline को extend किया. Is that okay, sir? Now, every registered person as per section 39 subsection 7, उसमें ये कहा गया है कि composition taxable person को छोड़ दो, बाकी जो रेगुलर टैक्सेबल पर्सन है वो इनपुट और आउटपुट का सेट ऑफ कर सकता है. दैट मींस इफ आई एम अ रेगुलर टैक्सेबल पर्सन, इन दैट केस आई कैन यूज माय इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट टू पे माय आउटपुट लायबिलिटी. दिस इज आल्सो स्पेसिफाइड अंडर सेक्शन 39 सबसेक्शन 7. सर हम लोगों को ये तो पता है ये सारी की सारी चीजें हो रही है, वी आर गोइंग टू फाइल द रिटर्न्स आल्सो, बट वी डोंट नो, वी हैव नो आइडिया अबाउट दैट व्हाट इज द सेक्शन, व्हाट इज द स्पेसिफिक सेक्शन व्हिच टॉक्स अबाउट दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग. सो वी नीड टू रीड आउट दैट सेक्शन, बिकॉज अभी हमारी प्रैक्टिस चल रही है, एवरीथिंग इज ओके, सब कुछ चल रहा है, एवरीथिंग इज फाइन. बट जब कोई डिपार्टमेंटल ऑडिट आएगी, जब कोई लिटिगेशन होता है, एट दैट टाइम वी नीड टू टॉक इन द लैंग्वेज ऑफ सेक्शंस ओनली. So this will be more convenient for departmental authority as well as for ours. Okay, sir. Now सेक्शन 8 सेज अगर आपने कोई सप्लाई नहीं की है, इफ यू हैड नॉट मेड एनी सेल्स इन अ पर्टिकुलर स्पेसिफिक टाइम पीरियड, इन दैट केस यू नीड टू फाइल द नील रिटर्न. आप ऐसा नहीं कि अगर आपने सप्लाई नहीं किया तो आप रिटर्न नहीं फाइल करोगे तो चल जाएगा. कई बार डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी के सामने आर्ग्यू लेकर के हम लोग जाते हैं कि सर वी हैड नॉट फाइल द रिटर्न ड्यू टू दैट देयर वाज नो सेल्स इन दैट पर्टिकुलर पीरियड. At that time departmental authority will also mm, give that contention that as per section 39 subsection 8 of CGST Act, if your turnover is nil, in that case also you need to file the return. अभी तो ये वाली फैसिलिटी है कि आप नेक्स्ट मंथ का रिटर्न फाइल नहीं कर सकते हो अगर आपने प्रीवियस टैक्स पीरियड का रिटर्न फाइल नहीं किया है तो. Then after subsection 9 says about the amendments of return. If you have any correction regarding any previous financial year, then in that case, as per the timeline which is specified in section 16 subsection 4 of CGST Act. Sir, अब आप बोलोगे what is the timeline in section 16 subsection 4? किसी पर्टिकुलर फाइनेंशियल ईयर के लिए उसके नेक्स्ट फाइनेंशियल ईयर का 13 नवंबर और एनुअल रिटर्न फाइलिंग की ड्यू डेट विच एवर इज अर्लियर जो भी हो, एनुअल रिटर्न की फाइलिंग डेट और 30 नवंबर विच एवर इज अर्लियर जो भी हो, वहां तक अगर मुझे कोई प्रीवियस फाइनेंशियल ईयर के अमेंडमेंट करने हैं, इन दैट केस आई एम एलिजिबल टू डू सो. बट अगर हम लोग नेक्स्ट डे भी करते हैं, सपोज 30 नवंबर के बाद में 1 अक्टूबर को जाकर के कोई भी अमेंडमेंट करता हूं, इन दैट केस दिस इज नॉट अलाउड, चाहे यहां पर एक दिन का ही डिले हो. So as a professional, we need to take care of this thing. As a departmental authority, they also need to take care of section 39, subsection 9 in case of amendments of return. Subsection 10 says about अगर आपने कोई previous period का फाइल नहीं फाइल किया है रिटर्न, in that case you are not eligible to file the return of next period. That is what is the self assessment. The complete section 59 of CGST Act says about that whatever will be the return you are going to file in section 39, you are doing the self assessment. और section 39 में क्या क्या कवर होता है, we had already covered. So once confirm in the chat box that self assessment is okay for you. सर फटाफट से कमेंट कर देना कि self assessment is okay for you. Then I am going to take the provisional assessment. Sir, I am expecting reply from each and everyone. So please. Now, sir, provisional assessment. I am going to take one example, and with the reference of that example, I am going to completely explain the term provisional assessment. Then we are going to discuss the language of law. Sir, किसी मंथ में क्या हुआ? I am a taxable person. किसी मंथ में I am not able to decide the value and rate of a particular supply. Okay, suppose I am going to make a particular specific supply and I am not in situation to decide that this particular supply is a composite supply or mixed supply, or what will be the rate of supply in that particular case. So in that case I have one option, that I can file an application to the departmental authority that sir I am not able to decide the particular value in that particular case. So can you please help me? So I need to file the application in a specified form to the departmental authority, and in that case departmental authority will analyze the situation, and on the basis of analysis of situation departmental authority will decide the provisional assessment. And departmental authority will say, sir, on the basis of your documents you need to pay the tax on this amount and the rate of tax will be this. Okay, departmental authority will do this exercise, and at that time you need to pay the taxes accordingly. Okay, after a specified time period departmental authority is going to start the final assessment. For doing that financial assessment, departmental authority will demand with you certain documents that, sir, we need to do the final assessment, so please provide us certain documents, because without supporting documents, how departmental authority can decide that what is the situation and what will be the value and rate. So on the basis of your documents, departmental authority will doing the final assessment. And in that final assessment, suppose in that final assessment, at the time of provisional assessment, you had paid the taxes of 1 lakh rupees. Okay. Now, at the time of final assessment, if departmental authority has decided the assessment at 1,50,000 rupees, in that case, on that 50,000 rupees, you need to pay the interest also. You need to pay that amount and with interest. And interest कब से लगेगा? जब आप उसको पेमेंट करने के लिए लायबल हो गए थे, उस दिन से लगा के जब आपने उसका पे किया. When you got the liability for the payment till the date of actual payment, you need to pay the interest. Okay. Suppose वैसे वर्षा सिचुएशन लेते हैं, एट द टाइम ऑफ प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट आपने ये वाला टैक्स का पेमेंट कर दिया. नाउ tax liability at the time of final assessment is only 80,000 rupees. In that case, this 20,000 is refundable to you. So when this 20,000 is refundable to you, at that time government is going to pay you interest. But sir, you need to clear in your mind that when we need to pay taxes to the government and we are going to make payment delayed, in that case we need to pay interest at the rate of 18%. बट अगर डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी ने कोई पेमेंट लेट किया, जैसे यहाँ पर रिफंडेबल गिन रहा है, एट दैट टाइम रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट विल बी 6% ओनली. सो in complete GST law, there is only three type of interest rate is available. One is 18% when you need to pay to the government and you are going to delay in that payment. In that case, you need to pay the interest at the rate of 18%. When government has paid you the late amount, in that case there is a interest rate of 6%. But if you are getting any amount due to any order or any decree by the appellate authority or appellate tribunal or high court or supreme court, in that case the rate of interest will be 9%. These three types of rates are available. Okay sir, although this is not a part of our today's discussion, but this is the rate idea. Okay sir. So in that particular case provisional assessment हुआ, then after final assessment हुआ, whatever be the situation, tax payable or refundable, and after that final assessment का order आपके पास में आ जाएगा and you are free. Now one more problem is there. एट द टाइम ऑफ प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट जो 1 लाख रुपीज का आपने पेमेंट किया, एंड एट द टाइम ऑफ फाइनल असेसमेंट 1,50,000 रुपीज का पेमेंट बन रहा है, दैट इज 50,000 रुपीज एक्सेस बन रहा है. So there is one doubt in the mind of government that kahi if the tax payable is excess in account of the tax paid at the time of provisional assessment और कहीं हमने पेमेंट करने से मना कर दिया, सो यहाँ पर एक और प्रोविजनल है, आई नीड टू सबमिट द सिक्योरिटी in the form of bank guarantee. At the time of provisional assessment, I need to file a security in the form of bank guarantee with a specified amount. That is what is the provisional assessment. In that example, I had covered complete situation, complete scenario of provisional assessment. Now, we are going to discuss the language of law. And when you are going to read the language of law, you found that each and everything is already done. Okay, sir. So, start the discussion. Subject to the provision of subsection 2, where the taxable person is unable to decide the value of goods and services or both determine the rate. That means value of goods and services and rate. Both things वो decide करने में possible नहीं हो रहा है उसके पास में. In that case, he is going to file a written request with reasons to the departmental authority, to the provisional authority, that sir, please do the provisional assessment, and from the date of your application within 90 days, departmental authority is going to do the provisional assessment on the basis of provisional facts. In that case, the payment of tax on provisional basis may be allowed if the taxable person executes a bond in such form as may be prescribed and with a such surety and security as the proper officer may deem fit. That means when departmental authority is going to do the provisional assessment, at the time of provisional assessment, you need to file a bank guarantee also. Next, the proper officer shall within a period of not exceeding 6 months from the date of communication of order issued under subsection 1 pass the final assessment order. That means when departmental authority has issued the provisional assessment, usse within 6 months departmental authority has to pass the final assessment order. But there is certain extension is possible if the situation permits. So in that case, Joint Commissioner and Additional Commissioner can extend the timeline for further 6 months. That is, after the date of provisional assessment, you need to do the final assessment within 6 months. But if there is situation permit and there is a reason, in that case, Additional Commissioner or Joint Commissioner can extend the time period further 6 months. And Commissioner has the power to extend the time period for 4 years. Provisional assessment on the basis of your documents, then after final assessment. In between that, there is a bank guarantee or surety. Sir, this is also very useful situation if you are a departmental authority and you got that situation regarding the provisional assessment, then you also need to take care of this section, section 60 of CGST Act. The registered person shall be liable to pay interest on the tax payable on such supply of goods or services are both under provisional assessment but not paid on the date specified under subsection 7 of section 39 as per the rules made thereunder at the rate specified under subsection 1 of section 50, that is 18%, we had already discussed. And from the first day after the due date of payment in respect of the said supply of goods or services both till the date of actual payment, and if the amount is refundable, in that case interest is also payable as per section 50 4 subsection 8. In that case, the rate of interest will be 6%. But if the refund is due to any judgment, any decree, in that case, rate of interest will be 9%. That is what is the situation. That is what is the whole concept of that provisional assessment. Okay, sir. Now, जीएसटी लॉ के अंदर या फिर अगर मैं बात करूं हर लॉ के अंदर एक स्पेसिफिक प्रोविजन होता है, सेक्शन आपको बोलती है व्हाट टू डू. Section 60 says in case of provisional assessment what is the situation, what is the manner and all that. But रूल्स आपको ये बताते हैं हाउ टू डू, हाउ यू कैन डू द प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट. उसने तो बोल दिया यू नीड टू अप्लाई टू द प्रोविजनल अथॉरिटी, प्रॉपर अथॉरिटी एंड फॉर द प्रॉपर ऑफिसर एंड फॉर द प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट एंड आफ्टर द प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट यू नीड टू डू द फाइनल असेसमेंट. भाई कौन से फॉर्म में करना है, कैसे करना है, क्या स्पेसिफिकेशंस रहेगी, वो सारी की सारी चीजें रूल्स में होती है. दैट मींस section always talks about the what to do and rules always talks about how to do. So in that case, for applying for the provisional assessment you need to file an application in form GST ASMT 01. Okay, as a professional there is no requirement to memorize these forms. सिचुएशन बेस पे आप लोग उसको ऑनलाइन देख सकते हैं या फिर मिल जाएगा आप लोगों को, उसकी गाइडलाइंस कई सारी अवेलेबल है, सीबीआईसी के पोर्टल पर भी अवेलेबल है. ओके, देन आफ्टर on receipt of the application under sub rule 1 issue a notice in form GST ASMT 02. मैंने जैसे ही डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी को बोला सर आई वांट एन प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट एंड फॉर दैट आई एम गोइंग टू फाइल एप्लीकेशन इन फॉर्म GST ASMT 01. इन दैट केस डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी कोई भगवान तो है नहीं कि वो मेरी एप्लीकेशन देते ही वहां पर प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट कर देगा. Departmental authority also requires certain specified documents. So departmental authority will demand the required documents in form GST ASMT 02, and after getting that notice as a taxable person I need to file my reply with proper documents in form GST ASMT 03. Okay, and in form GST ASMT 04 departmental authority is going to issue the provisional assessment order that sir on this amount you need to pay the taxes. Okay, and you need to file a bond is to be executed and security to be furnished not exceeding 25% of the amount covered in the bond. जो आप वैल्यू बॉन्ड में कवर्ड करते हो उसकी 25% की आपको सिक्योरिटी देनी है. सर why 25%? What is the reason behind this? Sir, we all know that suppose at the time of provisional assessment, if I need to pay a taxes of 1 lakh rupees, and at the time of final assessment, suppose the demand will be 1,50,000 rupees, then I need to pay only 50,000 rupees because 1 lakh already paid at the time of provisional assessment. So in that case, वो लोग केवल 25% अमाउंट की ही सिक्योरिटी यहाँ पर लेते हैं जो बॉन्ड की वैल्यू होती है. Okay, and what is the form in which we need to execute the bond? So in form GST ASMT 05 we need to execute the bond. Okay, then after The proper officer shall issue a notice in form GST ASMT 06 for final assessment. So provisional assessment हो गया. You had already paid the taxes. You had executed the bond in form GST ASMT 05. Now within 6 months, departmental authority, that is proper officer, has to do the final assessment. So for doing that final assessment, departmental authority requires certain documents, and for demanding that documents, the specific form is form GST ASMT 06. Okay, and after that, required for finalization, and then after that notice, departmental authority is going to issue the final assessment order in form GST ASMT 07 if any amount is refundable or if any amount is payable, whatever will be the situation. And after the final assessment, sir, आपको याद होगा आपकी security वहां पड़ी है, your security with the departmental authority. In that case, you need to release that particular security, and for releasing that security, you need to file form GST ASMT 08 for application to release that security. And within 7 days from the date of your application, departmental authority will going to release your security in form GST ASMT 09. Sir, जीएसटी A70 01 में अपने को अप्लाई करना है, 2 के अंदर वो क्वेश्चन रेज करेगा, जीएसटी A73 के अंदर हम लोग रिप्लाई करेंगे, एंड जीएसटी A74 के अंदर यहाँ पर ऑर्डर पास हो जाएगा. जीएसटी A75 के अंदर वी नीड टू एग्जीक्यूट द बॉन्ड एंड सिक्योरिटी विच इज नॉट एक्सीडिंग द वैल्यू ऑफ 25% ऑफ योर बॉन्ड. देन आफ्टर A76 के अंदर डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी विल इशू नोटिस फॉर द फाइनल असेसमेंट. जीएसटी A70 07 के अंदर दे विल इशू द ऑर्डर फॉर द फाइनल असेसमेंट. जीएसटी A78 के अंदर आई नीड टू फाइल एप्लीकेशन फॉर रिलीज ऑफ दैट सिक्योरिटी, एंड A79 के अंदर दे आर गोइंग टू रिलीज द सिक्योरिटी विद इन 7 डेज फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ एप्लीकेशन. सर, कब से हम लोग पढ़ रहे थे प्रॉपर ऑफिसर? वी नीड टू अप्लाई टू द प्रॉपर ऑफिसर, प्रॉपर ऑफिसर, प्रॉपर ऑफिसर. सो व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय दैट प्रॉपर ऑफिसर? सो डेप्यूटी कमिश्नर एंड असिस्टेंट कमिश्नर विल बी योर प्रॉपर ऑफिसर. सर, we had done the section 59 of CGST Act, self assessment, section 39 regarding the self assessment, and section 60 of the provisional assessment. Just confirm me in the chat box that each and everything related to the self assessment and the provisional assessment is okay for you. Then I am going to take the assessment of non-written filers and assessment of unregistered person. प्रोविजनल असेसमेंट जो हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया, एक बार उसका ब्रीफ भी यहाँ पर दे रखा है. रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन अनेबल टू डिसाइड द वैल्यू एंड रेट ऑफ टैक्स रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द पेमेंट ऑफ टैक्स ऑन प्रोविजनल बेसिस अंडर फॉर्म जीएसटी A70 01. Proper officer pass the order in form GST A70 04. Payment of taxes with execution of bond. Proper officer uh, final order not exceeding 6 months. Joint commissioner or commissioner can extend the timeline 4 years. Okay, sir. Now, scrutiny of return section 61. Nowadays, we all are receiving notices regarding scrutiny of returns. Okay, departmental authority is going to issue the notices regarding scrutiny of returns. Sir, in between the session, एक disturbance कर रहा हूँ. You are going to watch this webinar on this YouTube channel. So this is my request to you. Kindly subscribe this YouTube channel and press the bell icon so that in future we are going to make multiple webinars, multiple videos for you for the knowledge enhancement purposes, so you can get the updates on real time. So this is my request to you. Kindly subscribe the YouTube channel and press the bell icon. Thank you. This is just a part of advertisement and just for the information. Okay, we are going to enhance the knowledge. So sir, section 61, scrutiny of returns. Sir, जीएसटी A7010 आपने और हम सब ने देखे हैं. If you are a departmental authority, you had also go through the GST. You are going to issue the A7010, and we are going to file the reply of that GST A7010. That is scrutiny of returns. Okay, sir. On GST portal, when we are going to log in on that particular portal under user services tab, अंडर यूजर सर्विसेज टैब यू गॉट व्यू एडिशनल नोटिसेस. और जब आप जाकर के उस व्यू एडिशनल नोटिसेस पे टैप करते हैं, इन दैट केस यू विल गॉट द नोटिस रिगार्डिंग जीएसटी A7010 इफ इशूड बाय द डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी. ओके, ऑल्दो एक यहाँ पर छोटा सा इशू है कि वो ASMT10 केवल पोर्टल पर इशू होता है, उसका कोई मेल हमको नहीं आता है। सो दिस इज रियली अ सिचुएशन कि मुझे एक स्पेसिफाइड टाइम के पीरियड के बाद में जाकर के उस पोर्टल पे लॉग इन करके ईच पार्टी का चेक करना है। सो वन फैसिलिटी शुड बी प्रोवाइडेड दैट द notice should be issued on mail also, so that it will be more easy for us. Also we had represented the same in front of various authorities. So देखते हैं अगर इसके फेवर में कुछ आता है, so it will be beneficial for all of us. But now scrutiny of return section 61. Sir, departmental authority is going to issue the notice under form GST ASMT 10. We need to file the reply in form GST ASMT 11, and departmental authority will going to issue the drop proceeding order in form GST ASMT 12. Okay sir, scrutiny of returns, I am always saying that this is a very important procedure, because if you are not going to file the reply within a specified timeline, that is if you are not going to file the reply within 30 days from the issue of date of invoice, in that case departmental authority can start the proceeding under section 73 and 74, and we all know what is the implication of section 73 and 74. Also we are going to discuss on that section 73 and 74 itself in our today's session. Okay, so scrutiny of returns section 61. When departmental authority is going to issue the GST ASMT 10, so it is my humble submission to you, just check the correctness of that notice. Also my submission to departmental authority, जब भी आप लोग कोई GST ASMT 10 issue करते हैं, just check the correctness at your end also, because मैं मेरी प्रैक्टिस के अंदर मैंने 70% नोटिस ऐसे देखे हैं जिनका कोई बेस ही नहीं है, बेसलेस नोटिस। वो डिमांड होती नहीं है, डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटीज गोइंग टू इशू द नोटिसेस, वहां पर एक्सटेंशन के नोटिफिकेशन आ रखे हैं, वहां पर 2A और 3B का अगर कोई डिफरेंस है तो उसका मैक्सिमम कैप वहां पर ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल है, उस कैप के अंदर ही लिमिट है, और आगे वो चीजें मैच हो रही है, फिर भी वहां पर नोटिस आ रहे हैं, तो कहीं पर कंप्लाइंसेस जो है बढ़ रही है। So this is my humble submission, and when we are getting the notices in form GST A70 10, in that case this is our first responsibility to check the correctness of that notice. After that, check the fact from the returns of your client, and then after file a proper reply within 30 days to the departmental authority in form GST A70 11. And when you are going to file the reply, दिस इज माय हम्बल सबमिशन टू यू, जब भी हम लोग रिप्लाई देते हैं क्या करते हैं, केवल वो लिख देंगे कि यहाँ पर 2A 3B में डिफरेंस है और ये डिफरेंस उस कैप के अंदर है, एंड ऑल दैट हम लोग फैक्ट को प्रेजेंट कर लेंगे, खत्म कर देंगे उस मैटर। दिस इज माय रिक्वेस्ट टू यू, फाइल योर रिप्लाई एज पर सेक्शन। अगर if you want to give the reference of section 16 subsection 2, reference of section 16 subsection 4, then give the reference of that particular section. Okay, and if you have the case studies, there are multiple case studies available on account of that input tax credit. You can refer the case of Gujarat High Court, Delhi High Court, Punjab and Haryana High Court. You can take the references of these case studies, so that when you are going to file the reply in a proper format with proper extract of provisions of law and with certain case studies, so that your reply will be more effective and departmental authority can easily drop the proceeding in your case. ओके सर, सो वी नीड टू प्रिपेयर द रिप्लाई अकॉर्डिंगली। और कोई भी रिप्लाई तैयार करना है, कोई भी यू वांट टू प्रिपेयर अ रिप्लाई फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर केस, इन दैट केस यू जस्ट नीड टू कीप इन टू माइंड दैट वी नीड टू पुट द फैक्ट्स ऑफ लॉ, we need to put the section, we need to put the relevant extract of the section, and we need to put the certain case studies. Okay sir, basically इसमें बहुत सारे issues आ रहे हैं, so I am going to discuss on that. And after you are going to file the reply, departmental authority, if satisfied from that reply, in that case they are going to issue the order at the form GST A70 12, drop the proceedings. Is that okay sir? Section 61C GST Act. Now we are going to read the same from language of law. The proper officer may scrutinize the return and related particular furnished by the registered person to verify the correctness of the return and inform him of the discrepancies noticed, if any, in such manner as may be prescribed, and seek his explanation. If the explanation of the taxpayer is acceptable, in that case departmental authority is going to issue the order for the drop the proceedings. In case no satisfactory explanation is furnished within a period of 30 days of being informed by the proper officer, and such further period as may be permitted by him, or where the registered person, after accepting the discrepancies, fails to take the corrective measures in his return for the month in which discrepancies accepted, in that case the proceeding under section 73 74 will be started by the departmental authority. That is what is the concept. So what we need to do, section 61 ने यहाँ पर बता दिया for scrutiny of returns. Now rule 99 talks about how we can do the provisional assessment, how we can do the scrutiny of returns. So for scrutiny of returns, there is a form GST ASMT 10. Departmental authority will going to issue the notice and seeking his explanation. Okay, and you need to file your reply in form GST 11, and departmental authority is going to accept your contention. In that case, they will going to pass the order for drop the proceeding in GST ASMT 12. Is that okay, sir? So section 59 related to self assessment, section 60 related to provisional assessment, and section 61 is your scrutiny of returns. Now we are going to take the assessment of non-return filers, section 62. Sir, in that particular case, suppose you had taken the registration, I had taken the registration, and I am not going to file the return. I am not going to file the return GSTR 3B, GSTR 9, GSTR 9C, or I am not going to file the return, final return, that is section 45 के अंदर जो रिटर्न स्पेसिफाई है. बट यहाँ पर जो नॉन रिटर्न फाइलर्स का असेसमेंट होगा वो केवल आपके GSTR 3B फाइल में ही है. आपने वो सेक्शन 39 में स्पेसिफिक फॉर्म्स है जो रिटर्न है वो अगर हमने फाइल नहीं किया, इन दैट केस डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी कैन स्टार्ट द प्रोसीडिंग अंडर सेक्शन 62. कई बार अगर आपने एनुअल रिटर्न फाइल नहीं किए, 9 एंड 9C फाइल नहीं किए, एंड यू आर गेटिंग द नोटिसेस अंडर सेक्शन 62 ऑफ CGST एक्ट, इन दैट केस यू कैन आर्ग्यू दैट दिस नोटिस इज नॉट वैलिड. Okay, so not to accept each and everything, just read that in which section departmental authority is going to issue the notices, because as per section 62 only the taxpayer is not going to file the return under sections 39 and 45. In that case they can issue the notices, जबकि हमारे जो annual return है वो section 44 of CGST act में cover होते हैं, and the section is not specified here, so we need to take care of it. Okay sir. So in that particular case, if I am not going to file my GSTR 3B return or my final return, that is GSTR 10, in that case departmental authority can issue the can do the assessment as a non-return filers on the basis of information available with the departmental authority. But if departmental authority is going to make any decision, in that case departmental authority has to provide me an opportunity of being heard. That means one notice has to be issued to me for the opportunity of being heard, that we are going to do the assessment, your assessment as a non-return filers, and you have a timeline of 30 days. If you are going to provide the reply in 30 days, in that case if the same is found acceptable, in that case we are going to drop the proceeding, and if your contention is not going to acceptable, in that case we are going to do that assessment. So अगर आपने प्रॉपर रिप्लाई दिया विद इन 30 days फ्रॉम द सर्विस ऑफ द असेसमेंट ऑर्डर एंड डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी सेटिस्फाइड विद दैट, इन दैट केस दे आर गोइंग टू ड्रॉप द प्रोसीडिंग. ओके, इन दैट केस पेनल्टी आप पर नहीं लगेगा, बट आपको यहाँ पर इंटरेस्ट और लेट फीस तो पे करना ही पड़ेगा. सर अब डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी कब तक नॉन रिटर्न फाइलर्स का असेसमेंट कर सकती है? सपोज मैंने अपने 17-18 के रिटर्न फाइल नहीं किया, आई वाज लायबल फॉर दैट बट आई हैड नॉट फाइल्ड द रिटर्न. सो व्हाट इज द टाइमलाइन टिल व्हिच डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी कैन डू द assessment as a non-return filers? So in that case, within a period of 5 years from the date specified under section 44 of furnishing of annual return for the financial year to which the tax is not paid relates. जो आपके एनुअल रिटर्न फाइल करने की ड्यू डेट है, सपोज फाइनेंशियल ईयर 17-18 के लिए व्हाटएवर विल बी द ड्यू डेट फॉर फाइलिंग माय जीएसटीआर 9 एंड 9C रिटर्न, दैट इज मार्च. ओके, सो इन दैट केस उसकी जो ड्यू डेट है उससे 5 इयर्स तक डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी कैन डू द असेसमेंट एज अ नॉन रिटर्न फाइलर्स. अगर मैं आज की बात करूं फॉर फाइनेंशियल ईयर 22-23 की, इन दैट केस द ड्यू डेट फॉर फाइलिंग द एनुअल रिटर्न इज 31st December. ओके, इन दैट केस जो ड्यू डेट है उससे 5 साल आगे तक जाकर के डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी कैन डू द असेसमेंट एज अ नॉन रिटर्न फाइलर्स इफ यू हैड नॉट फाइल्ड द रिटर्न इन दैट स्पेसिफाइड पीरियड. इज दैट ओके सर? Section 62, assessment of non-return filers is specifically applicable only for the returns which is specifically specified in section 39 of CGST Act and section 45, that is final return GSTR 10. I suppose everything is okay in that section 62. Just confirm me once in the chat box that assessment of non-return filers is okay for you. We are going to discuss on the forms also in due course. Section 63, assessment of unregistered person. Suppose as per the data available with the departmental authority, I need to take the registration. I need to take the registration, but I had not taken that registration. Or I had taken the registration, but due to certain reason, my registration got cancelled and I had not applied again for the registration. Or I had to file an application for the cancellation of registration. But as per the turnover, my turnover has crossed the specified limit and I have not taken the registration or my registration is cancelled. In that case, डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी विल ट्रीट मी एज अ अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन और इन दैट केस अगर उनके पास में डेटा अवेलेबल है इफ द डेटा अवेलेबल विद द डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी दैट मिस्टर सचिन जैन हैज अ टर्नओवर क्रॉस विद द स्पेसिफाइड लिमिट इन दैट केस डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी कैन डू द असेसमेंट एज अ अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन and after that assessment departmental authority is going to give me an opportunity of being heard and in that opportunity if I am going to file a satisfactory reply and departmental authority is going to satisfy with my reply in that case departmental authority can issue a order for drop the proceeding but I need to pay the interest and late fees penalty will not be levied in that case. Okay, sir. Now, what is the timeline? So, for financial year 2020 to 23, if the due date for filing the GSTR 9 and 9C is my 31st December, in that case, from the due date of filing of GSTR 9 and 9C, 5 years tak, departmental authority has the power to do the assessment of unregistered person. That is what is called as your section 63. Is that okay, sir? Section 59, self-assessment. Section 60, provisional assessment. Section 61, scrutiny of returns. GST A70 10. Section 62, assessment of non-return filers, and section 63, assessment of unregistered person. Now, section 64 talks about summary assessment in certain special cases. Sir, what is the cases you can decide that these cases are treated as your special cases? So, when departmental authority thinks that if we are not going to do the assessment, we are not going to do the assessment of that particular person, in that case there is a revenue loss. यहाँ पर चांसेस है कि गवर्नमेंट को रेवेन्यू लॉस हो जाएगा. In that case departmental authority can go for the summary assessment. जहां पर उनको ये लगता है कि अगर इसका असेसमेंट नहीं किया गया इन दैट केस यहाँ पर रेवेन्यू लॉस होने के चांसेस है इन दैट केस दे कैन गो फॉर द समरी असेसमेंट. नाउ who can do the summary assessment? So the proper officer can do the summary assessment with the previous permission of additional commissioner and joint commissioner. That means if any GST officer wants to go for the summary assessment, in that case that particular officer needs to take the previous permission of additional commissioner and joint commissioner that sir हम यहाँ पर assessment करना चाहते हैं and if we are not going to do that assessment, in that case there is chances of revenue losses. So in that case with the previous permission of additional commissioner or joint commissioner they can do the summary assessment. Okay sir, provided that where the taxable person to whom the liability to person is not ascertainable, that means if departmental authority is not going to decide that हमको किस बंदे का यहाँ पर summary assessment करना है, they know the GSTN but they have no idea about that कि किस बंदे का GST किस बंदे का हम लोग यहाँ पर summary assessment करें. बायर के केस में हमको summary assessment करना है, सप्लायर के केस में हमको summary assessment करना है. हम उस बंदे को वो लोग डिसाइड नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, पर्टिकुलर पर्सन को वो लोग डिसाइड नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. इन दैट केस सेक्शन 64 सबसेक्शन 1 का प्रोवाइजो ये बोलता है कि गुड्स यहाँ पर जिसके हाथ में होगा, the person who is holding the goods, that person should be declared as the person जिसका आपको summary assessment करना है. ओके सर, और उस बंदे के हाथ में यहाँ पर लाइबिलिटी आ जाएगी और वो बंदा यहाँ पर टैक्स का पेमेंट करेगा। वॉट एवर विल बी द लाइबिलिटी कैलकुलेटेड एट द टाइम ऑफ समरी असेसमेंट, द पर्सन हु इज होल्डिंग द गुड्स इज लाइबल फॉर पेमेंट ऑफ दैट टैक्स, दैट इंटरेस्ट एंड दैट पेनल्टी। दैट इज व्हाट इज द प्रोविजो। सर आई एम ऑलवेज सेइंग दैट सेक्शन इज इंपॉर्टेंट बट प्रोवाइजो इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट। जब हम लोग कोई चीज बाय करने के लिए जाते हैं तो हम लोग अगर वहां पर कोई स्टार लगा हुआ होता है ना, हम लोग पहले उस स्टार को देखते हैं। वी आर गोइंग टू चेक दैट स्टार, दैट इन दैट सर्टेन इंपॉर्टेंट टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस आर देयर। सो जब भी आप लोग किसी भी लॉ को पढ़ो, वट एवर इट विल बी इनकम टैक्स एक्ट, इट विल द कंपनीज एक्ट, एंड इफ देयर इज एनी प्रोवाइजो, इन दैट केस वी नीड टू चेक दैट केयरफुली। इन दैट प्रोवाइजो यहाँ पर स्टार मार्क्स है कि हु इज गोइंग टू पे द लाइबिलिटी, द पर्सन हु इज होल्डिंग द गुड्स इज लाइबल फॉर पेमेंट ऑफ द टैक्स, इंटरेस्ट एंड पेनल्टी, वट एवर विल बी द डिसाइडेड बाय द प्रॉपर ऑफिसर एट द टाइम ऑफ समरी असेसमेंट। ओके, आफ्टर दैट ऑर्डर विद इन 30 डेज, अगर टैक्स पेयर जाकर के कंटेंशन करता है कि दैट ऑर्डर, दैट समरी ऑर्डर वाज, that summary order has certain error and that order was not correct, in that case departmental authority can drop the proceeding. ओके सर, सो समरी असेसमेंट कब होगा? जब प्रॉपर ऑफिसर को ये लगता है कि देयर इज अ चांसेस ऑफ रेवेन्यू लॉस, इन दैट केस प्रॉपर ऑफिसर कैन गो फॉर द समरी असेसमेंट। ओके सर, ना Rule 100. Rule 99 we had already discussed. Rule 100 talks about the assessment of certain special cases. That means if I need to do the assessment in case of assessment of non-return filers, assessment of unregistered person and summary assessment, इन तीन केसेस में कौन से फॉर्म्स यूज पे होंगे, क्या प्रोसीजर रहेगा, वो सारी की सारी चीजें रूल 100 ऑफ सीजीएसटी रूल्स बात करता है। रूल 100 सीजीएसटी रूल्स इज टॉकिंग अबाउट द प्रोसीजर रिगार्डिंग द असेसमेंट ऑफ अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन, नॉन रिटर्न फाइलर्स एंड समरी असेसमेंट। सो इन केस ऑफ नॉन रिटर्न फाइलर्स, in case of assessment of non-return filers, the notice to be issued, the order of assessment to be issued in form GST ASMT 13, and with that one summary is to be uploaded in form GST DRC 07. Order आपको आएगा form GST ASMT 13 and summary will be issued in form GST DRC 07. So from that summary you have the idea that हमारी कौन सी लाइबिलिटी पे यहाँ पर गवर्नमेंट ने टैक्स इम्पोज किया है या फिर डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी ने टैक्स इम्पोज किया है, सो दैट इफ यू वांट टू फाइल एनी कंटेंशन और इफ एनी आर्ग्यूड इन 30 days you can file on the basis of that summary. So departmental authority is going to issue the order in form GST ASMT 13 with DRC 07. सो कई बार अगर आपको केवल ASMT 13 मिल जाए और DRC 07 नहीं मिले, इन दैट केस यू कैन डिमांड फ्रॉम द डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी दैट सर प्लीज प्रोवाइड अस द फॉर्म DRC 07 so that it will be more useful for us. Okay sir, then the proper officer shall issue a notice to a taxable person in form GST ASMT 14 containing grounds on which assessment is to be proposed made on the best judgment, and shall also serve a summary thereof in form GST DRC 01, and after allowing a time of 15 days to such person to furnish his reply, and if any pass an order in form GST ASMT 15 and summary thereof should be uploaded in form DRC 07. That means I am liable for GST registration, and if I had not taken the registration, in that case departmental authority is going to issue a notice in form GST ASMT 14, and departmental authority is also going to submit the summary in form GST DRC 01. ये फाइनल नहीं है। इन केस ऑफ नॉन रिटर्न फाइलर्स उन्होंने ऑर्डर दे दिया था, बट इन केस ऑफ unregistered person they are first providing the notices. So sir, this is very important that we know the idea about the procedure, that किस केस के अंदर हमारे पास में सीधा ऑर्डर आने वाला है, किस केस में वी आर फर्स्ट गोइंग टू रिसीव द नोटिस. सो इन केस ऑफ अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन असेसमेंट यू आर गोइंग टू गेट द नोटिसेस फर्स्ट इन फॉर्म GST ASMT 14 with the summary in form DRC 01, and you had the timeline of 15 days, and if you are going to file a proper reply, in that case the order will be issued in form GST ASMT 15 with a DRC in form DRC 07, with a summary in form DRC 07, and you need to pay the same. Now in case of summary assessment, directly order will be issued in form GST ASMT 16 and summary thereof will be submitted in form GST DRC 07. If you want to withdraw that assessment order, in that case you need to file an application in form GST ASMT 17. Okay, The order of withdrawal will be issued by the departmental authority in form GST ASMT 18. That means in case of summary assessment means departmental authority को लगता है कि there is a revenue loss और अगर उन्होंने कोई assessment किया in that case they are going to issue the order in form GST ASMT 16 with the summary in form DRC 07. जैसे ही आपने उसको रिसीव किया आपने बोला नहीं नहीं ये तो गलत है. In that case, you can file an application for withdrawal of that assessment in form GST ASMT 17. And after that, if departmental authority is going to accept the same, in that case, departmental authority is going to issue the order for withdrawal of that order in form GST ASMT 18. Okay, sir. So, assessment wala part, self assessment, provisional assessment, assessment of non return filers, assessment of unregistered person, scrutiny of return section 61, summary assessment section 64. ये सारी की सारी चीजें, all these things are okay for you. Just confirm me in the chat box that each and everything from the point of view of the assessment is okay for you. Then I am going to take the audit part. I am expecting reply from each and everyone that assessment part is okay for you. सर हम लोगों ने प्रैक्टिकल सिनेरियो भी डिस्कस किए, इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स को डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी भी डिस्कस किए, इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स को टैक्स पेयर एज अ प्रोफेशनल भी हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किए. ओके, so we had started with the difference between audit and assessment. Then after we had covered the complete part of assessment. Now we are going to start our discussion on audit. But before moving ahead, I just want one confirmation from your side. Audit can be two types. One is tax authority, another is special audit. Yes, sir. So around 40-45 participants are there, but I am getting reply from 5 to 7 participants only. बाकी वालों को समझ नहीं आया है. तो आप लोग रिवीजन लेक्चर्स देख सकते हैं. This video will be available for you. Also, you can check the same. So, yes, sir. Section 65. Section 59 से हम लोगों ने स्टार्ट किया था. We had covered section 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. Now, we are going to start our discussion on section 65, that is audit by tax authorities. Now, section 65 subsection 1 says the commissioner or any officer authorized by him by way of journal or specific order may undertake audit of any registered person for such period at such frequency in such manner as may be prescribed. That means commissioner or any officer authorized by him can take the audit of any entity. That is वो love letter दे सकता है entity 01 के अंदर for business audit. So commissioner has the power to issue the form GST ASMT GST ADT 01. Okay, notice in form GST ADT 01 regarding business audit. Okay, so now section 65 subsection 2 says about that conduct of audit at the place of business of registered person. That means audit can be conducted at the place of business of that registered person or in their office. That means GST officer can do the audit at their office itself or can do the audit at the premises of the particular taxpayer. Now, section 65 subsection 3 says that the registered person shall be informed by way of a notice not less than 15 working days prior to the conduct of the audit in such manner as may be prescribed. That means minimum 15 days notice is required before starting the audit proceeding. So, as a taxpayer, we need to take care of it. कभी कोई departmental authority direct audit start करती है, in that case, we need to use the reference of section 65 subsection 3 of CGST Act. That's a minimum 15 days notice is required in the case of departmental audit. Okay, and departmental authority has to take the note of it also that sir, when you are going to start the audit of any entity, you just need to provide a notice for the audit before 15 days. Okay, sir. Now, what is the timeline to complete that audit? So the timeline is mentioned under section 65 subsection 4. Sir, I just request that after this session, after this live webinar, whenever you are going for any audit and assessment, and whenever you are going to forming any reply for the audit and assessment, this is my request to you. You are going to prepare your reply with reference of various sections. Okay, you are going to prepare the reply with sections. And departmental authority, when you are going to issue any type of notices to any person, just check the sections, that you are going to issue the notices in proper sections. In the formatting of notice, the facts are okay. Okay, sir. So the audit under subsection 1 shall be completed within a period of 3 months from the date of commencement of the audit. So the timeline to complete that audit is your 3 month from the date of commencement. Sir, ध्यान से इस लाइन को रीड आउट करना. Date of commencement of audit से 3 month के अंदर departmental authority has to complete the audit, provided that where the commissioner is satisfied that the audit in respect of such person cannot be completed within 3 months, he may, for the reasons to be recorded in writing, extend the period for further not exceeding 6 months. So departmental commissioner has the power to further extend the time period to complete that audit 6 months. So uh, the proper officer has to complete the audit within 3 months, but commissioner has the power to extend the time period further 6. Okay, sir. Is that okay? Now, departmental authority has to complete the audit from the date of commencement. Sir, what do you mean by this date of commencement? This is the part and we need to read that, because हम लोग कई बार कहते हैं as a professional we need to plan certain things. Okay, for our client, for our profession, we need to plan certain things. So we are going to analyze the law, and from that law we need to plan certain things. So here, commencement of audit shall means the date on which the records and other documents called for by the tax authorities are made available by the registered person or the actual institution audit at the place of business, whichever is latter. जिस दिन डॉक्यूमेंट्स प्रोवाइड करवाए टैक्स पेयर ने, और जिस दिन आपने एक्चुअल इंस्टीट्यूशन, दैट मींस जिस दिन आपने एक्चुअल ऑडिट स्टार्ट की, उस दिन से माना जाएगा कि आपकी बिजनेस ऑडिट कमेंस हुई है. That means your date of commencement will be in the hand of the departmental authority. Departmental authority say that I had started the audit at that particular time, or the taxpayer has provided me the document as on that particular date. So the date of commencement will be in the hand of the departmental authority, and from the date of commencement there is a timeline of 3 months to complete that. Is that okay, sir? You got my point? Now, section 65 subsection 5 says that during the course of audit, the authorized officer may require the registered person to afford him the necessary facility to verify the books of accounts. That is, if departmental authority is going to ask for the accounting software, the data of accounting software, you need to provide the same. Furnish such information as he may require and render assistance for timely completion of the audit. Section 65 subsection 6 says on conclusion of the audit, the proper officer shall within 30 days inform the registered person whose records are audited about the finding, his rights, his obligation and other reasons of such findings. That means after the conclusion of audits, within 30 days, all the details should be provided to the particular person. Where the audit conducted under subsection 1 of section 65, that is business audit, और in that case यहाँ पर कोई ऐसी सिचुएशन है जिसमें कोई रिफंड गलत क्लेम किया है, आउटपुट का कम पेमेंट हुआ है, इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट एक्सेस अवेल हुई है, इन दैट केस द प्रोसीडिंग शुड बी स्टार्टेड अंडर सेक्शन 73 74. ओके सर, बहुत ही जल्द हम लोग सेक्शन 73 74 पर भी डिस्कस करने वाले हैं. सो द पॉइंट इज दैट द ऑडिट बाय द डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी, दैट इज बिजनेस ऑडिट, कैन बी ordered by the commissioner or his authorized officer. Okay, 15 days notice is required. ऑडिट की कमेंसमेंट डेट्स के विद इन 3 मंथ्स उसको कंप्लीट करना होगा. एक्सटेंशन कैन बी प्रोवाइडेड बाय द कमिश्नर फॉर फर्दर 6 मंथ. ओके, ऑल्सो 1 मंथ के अंदर ऑडिट के कंक्लूजन के बाद सारे के सारे फैक्ट एंड फिगर उस टैक्स पेयर को शेयर करने हैं. एंड इफ देयर इज एनी रॉन्ग रिफंड, if there is any excess availment of input tax credit, if there is less payment of output tax, in that case proceeding under section 73 and 74 can be started. Sir, is that okay? Section 65 of CGST Act, that is business audit. Now I am going to start The next section, section 66, that is special audit conducted by chartered accountant or post management accountant. So the special audit can be conducted by the chartered accountant or by the post management accountant. Now, section 66 subsection 1 says, सर आपको मेरी बातें समझ आ रही है ना? ईच एंड एवरीथिंग इज ओके फॉर यू? कहीं पर भी स्पीड फास्ट हो रही है, कोई कॉन्सेप्ट अगर आपको नहीं समझ आ रहा हो, किसी चीज पे आपको लगता है कि सर देयर इज रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ एनी प्रैक्टिकल एग्जांपल, देयर इज एनी एग्जांपल ऑफ देयर इज एनी रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ लाइव केस स्टडी, यू कैन comment the same in the chat box so that I can take the example also. There is no issue with that, and if everything is going in a flow, in that case there is no problem. Okay sir. So now, special audit can be conducted by the chartered accountant or post accountant. So, if at any stage of scrutiny, inquiry, investigation, and other proceeding before him, any officer not below the rank of the assistant commissioner, that means assistant commissioner or usse upar ke jo bande hain, they can allot the special audit on the basis of the nature and complexity of the case and interest of revenue. So in that case, the assistant commissioner और उससे ऊपर की रैंक के जो भी बंदे हैं, they can go for the special audit. So chartered accountant and post accountant so nominated shall within period of 90 days submit a report such audit duly signed and certified by him to the said assistant commissioner mentioning therein such other particulars as may be specified. That means सीए को जिस दिन वो ऑडिट अलॉट हुई या फिर सीएमए को जिस दिन वो ऑडिट अलॉट हुई, उसके 90 डेज के अंदर दे नीड टू सबमिट देयर रिपोर्ट टू द असिस्टेंट कमिश्नर. बट इफ देयर इज अ सिचुएशन, ऐसा लगता है कि दिस ऑडिट कैन नॉट बी कंप्लीटेड विद इन दिस 90 डेज टाइमलाइन, इन दैट केस असिस्टेंट कमिश्नर हैज द पावर to extend the timeline for further period of 90 days. That means the क्यूमुलेटिव टाइम इज 180 डेज. 90 डेज के अंदर सीए या सीएमए को उस ऑडिट को कंप्लीट करना है. बट यहां पर अगर ऐसी रिक्वायरमेंट है कि एक्सटेंडेड टाइमलाइन मिलना चाहिए, सो यहां पर एक्सटेंशन कैन बी प्रोवाइडेड फॉर फर्दर 90 डेज. दैट इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज सेक्शन 66 सबसेक्शन 2. नाउ Section 66 subsection 3. The provisions of subsection 1 shall have effect notwithstanding that the accounts of the registered person have been audited under any act. That means section 66 subsection 3 says about कोई टैक्स पेयर ये कंटेंशन नहीं दे सकता है कि सर आई हैड ऑलरेडी ऑडिटेड अंडर द इनकम टैक्स एक्ट फ्रॉम अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, सो नाउ अगेन आप किसी चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट से मेरी ऑडिट नहीं करवा सकते हो. ऐसा कंटेंशन नहीं दिया जा सकता है एज पर सेक्शन 66 सबसेक्शन 3. आपके बुक्स चाहे किसी भी एक्ट में ऑडिट हुए हो, अगर यहाँ पर असिस्टेंट कमिश्नर बोलता है ड्यू टू नेचर एंड कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी ऑफ ट्रांजेक्शन द स्पेशल ऑडिट इज रिक्वायर्ड, इन दैट केस दैट ऑडिट शुड बी डन. नाउ yes, Mahadev ji, we are going to take certain examples for section 16 subsection 4 also. Timeline for amendment, I am going to take the examples. Okay sir. Section 66 subsection 4. The registered person shall be given an opportunity of being heard if during the special audit and after the conclusion of special audit there is any impact on that particular taxable person, there is any tax liability, there is any demand, in that case opportunity of being heard should be provided to that particular taxable person as per section 66 subsection 4. Now section 66 subsection 5. The expenses, as a chartered accountant, most important thing is the expenses of the examination audit of the records shall be determined by the commissioner and also paid by the commissioner. That means यहाँ पर tax payer पे कोई भी liability नहीं है. All the expenditure related to the audit should be done by the commissioner. After the conduct of that special audit, if anything found that there is a refund which is wrongly availed, input tax credit excess availed, output tax less paid, in that case the proceeding under section 73 74 can be started. So we can say the audit by the departmental authority, that is section 65 of CGST Act, and special audit, that is section 66 of CGST Act, both are something same. There are different. The departmental audit can be done by the departmental authority and the स्पेशल ऑडिट कैन बी डन बाय अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट. डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी के ऑर्डर कमिश्नर या फिर उसके द्वारा ऑथोराइज्ड पर्सन देगा. बट इन केस ऑफ स्पेशल ऑडिट द असिस्टेंट कमिश्नर ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ नेचर एंड ट्रांजैक्शन, नेचर एंड कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी ऑफ द ट्रांजैक्शन कैन डिसाइड दैट द पर्टिकुलर ऑडिट शुड बी डन बाय अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट और अ पोस्ट मैनेजमेंट अकाउंटेंट. इन केस ऑफ स्पेशल ऑडिट timeline, CA has to provide the report within 90 days from the date of commencement of the audit. and assistant commissioner can provide an extension of further 90 days. That is what is the concept of special audit and departmental audit. Sir, इनिशियली जब हम लोगों ने सेशन स्टार्ट किया था, assessment, four type of assessment we had done. Audit, two type of audit, audit by the departmental authority and audit by the special audit, it is also done. Now सर कब से हम लोग ये डिस्कस कर रहे हैं सेक्शन 73 74। अगर कुछ मिला तो डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी हैज टू इश्यू द प्रोसीडिंग अंडर सेक्शन 73 74। अगर कोई रिफंड गलत क्लेम कर लिया, इफ द टैक्स पेयर इज क्लेम द रिफंड रॉन्गली और द टैक्स पेयर इज excess claim the input tax credit or the taxable person has less paid the output tax liability, in that case the proceeding under section 73 74 will be started. So sir, now this time we need to discuss on what do you mean by the section 73 and 74 of CGST Act. What is the language of this section 73 and 74? What is the relevance of this section 73 and 74? So sir, suppose मैंने कोई रिफंड गलत क्लेम किया, I had wrongly claimed the refund, I had wrongly claimed the excess input tax credit, I had wrongly less paid the output tax liability. In that case, अगर मैंने ये सारे के सारे काम wrongly किए, there is no any fraud intention in my mind, I had not suppressed any fact. ओके मैंने कोई मिस रिप्रेजेंटेशन नहीं दिया, मैंने कोई मिस स्टेटमेंट नहीं किया, मैंने कोई सप्रेशन ऑफ फैक्ट नहीं किया और मेरा कोई इंटेंशन फ्रॉड का नहीं था. In that case, my case will be covered under section 73. And if there is any fraudulent event intent is there, or there is any misstatement is there, or there is any suppression of facts is there, in that case the case should be covered under section 74. Suppose I had taken multiple registration, okay, and those registrations are bogus, and on the basis of that multiple bogus registrations I am going to transfer the input tax credit and pay the output tax liability, and also I am going to claim the refund in cash and all that things I am doing. In that case I am going to do the suppression of facts. My intention is to do the fraud. In that case the case should be covered under section 74 of CGST Act. But by mistake, suppose I was not able to claim the refund of input service, but I had claimed that refund. Okay, and now I am not going to go any litigation to the High Court and all other authorities. In that case, if I am going to pay the, but I had wrongly claimed that refund of input service, in that case, there was no any fraud, there is no any suppression of facts. मैंने already वो सब कुछ वहां पर perform किया था. In that case, the case should be covered under section 73 of CGST. Okay, sir. Suppose there is a fake transactions, paper invoicing हो रही है to transfer the input tax credit. In that case, the same should be covered under the section 74 of CGST. But by mistake मेरी कुछ इनवॉइसेस में से 3-4 इनवॉइसेस ऐसी है जो फ्रिक्वेंटली मेरे पास आ गई है, बट मेरा उसके अंदर कोई भी इंटेंशन नहीं था, कोई सप्रेशन ऑफ फैक्ट्स मैंने नहीं किया है, सारी इनवॉइसेस मैंने वहां पर प्रोसेस की. इन दैट केस द केस शुड बी कवर्ड अंडर सेक्शन 73. So, conclusively, we can say that the particular case is to be covered under section 73 or 74 is to be completely decided on the basis of the situation, on the basis of the facts you are going to present in front of the departmental authority. As a chartered accountant, as a lawyer, जब भी हम लोग हियरिंग के लिए जाते हैं, हमारे दिमाग में एक ही चीज रहती है कि each and every decision of the counterparties completely depend on the presentation. What facts, what data I am going to present. The decision of the departmental authority, the decision of the high court is completely based on that. कई बार हम लोग देखते हैं कि सेम मैटर पे डबल एआर अथॉरिटी, ट्रिपल एआर अथॉरिटी, इवन हाई कोर्ट के डिसीजन अलग अलग आए हुए हैं. Reason behind the presentation of facts. So I am just going to express the things that the case should be covered under section 73 or 74. This is completely based on the facts, the data which you are going to present and the situation. So we need to be very much careful for that when we are going for that type of litigation. In that case, we need to clearly examine that केस 73 में जाना चाहिए या फिर 74 में जाना चाहिए. एज ए डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी वी नीड टू चेक कि कहीं कोई केस जो 73 में जाना चाहिए कहीं गलती से या फिर किसी डॉक्यूमेंट्स के मिस रिप्रेजेंटेशन से वो 74 में तो नहीं जा रहा है, या फिर 74 में जाना चाहिए बट वो 73 में तो नहीं जा रहा है. सो अवर फोकस इज ऑन दैट बिकॉज रेवेन्यू लीकेज हम लोग उससे निकाल सकते हैं और एज ए चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट प्रोफेशनल हम हमारे क्लाइंट का फेवर उस चीज से कर सकते हैं कि कहीं अगर उसने गलती की है, इन दैट केस पेनल्टी शुड बी देयर, बट कहीं ऐसा नहीं हो कि डेटा प्रेजेंट करने में कोई इशू हो. सो वी नीड टू बी वेरी मच केयरफुल फॉर दैट. जब भी हम लोग कोई लिटिगेशन के लिए जाते हैं, इन दैट केस वी नीड टू स्टडी ईच एंड एवरीथिंग, ईच एंड एवरी फैक्ट ऑफ दैट केस. ओके, we need to refer multiple case studies, we need to refer multiple double AR triple AR authorities decision, we need to refer multiple situation of that particular scenario, so that at the time of litigation, at the time of hearing, we can present the data in front of the authority very clearly. Is that okay, sir? With that, ज्ञान बहुत हो गया. Section 73 of CGST Act, that is, in case there is no any fraud, there is no any willful misstatement, there is no any suppression of facts, in that case the case should be covered under Section 73 subsection 1. In that case, आइए सर लैंग्वेज ऑफ लॉ को रीड करते हैं. वेयर इट अपीयर्स टू द प्रॉपर ऑफिसर. सर आप लोग इस सेशन को एंजॉय कर रहे हैं ना? एवरीथिंग इज फाइन फॉर यू, यू आर एंजॉयिंग द सेशन, कुछ बोरिंग जैसा तो नहीं है? Where it appears to the proper officer that any tax has not been paid, short paid, or where the input tax credit is wrongly availed or utilized other than the reason of fraud और willful misstatement और suppression of fact, in that case यहाँ पर एक नोटिस इशू हो जाएगा. he shall serve a notice that sir आपने कोई फ्रॉड तो नहीं किया, इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट कुछ मिसस्टेटमेंट नहीं हुआ है, बट वी आर गोइंग टू इशू अ नोटिस बिकॉज देयर इज अ excess claimed of input tax credit, less payment of output tax, and wrongly availment of refund. So we are going to issue the notice. Okay, sir, under section 73 of CGST Act. So cause notice they are going to issue along with the interest liability. Okay, so now सर हम लोग देखते हैं टाइमलाइन बहुत मस्त होती है जीएसटी में. टाइमलाइन कि कब तक वो नोटिस दे सकता है. कभी हमारे पास में कोई सेक्शन 73 का नोटिस आया, व्हेन वी आर गोइंग टू चेक द फैक्ट्स, वी फाउंड दैट टाइम पीरियड फॉर इशूइंग दैट पर्टिकुलर नोटिस हैज ऑलरेडी लैप्स्ड. So we need to know that in that particular situation what is the timeline to issue the notice, in that particular situation what is the timeline to issue the notices. So we need to take care of these facts in our mind. So, in case of section 73, proper officer shall issue the notice under subsection 1 at least 10 months prior to the timeline specified in subsection 10 of section 73. अब सर section 73 subsection 10 क्या बोलती है? मैं पहले ही आपको बता रहा हूं ताकि सेक्शन 73 सबसेक्शन 2 आपकी क्लियर हो जाए, सो दैट जो बाकी बची हुई सबसेक्शंस है वो हम लोग इजीली वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड दोस सेक्शंस. एज पर सेक्शन 73 सबसेक्शन 10, जो आपके एनुअल रिटर्न फाइलिंग की ड्यू डेट है, सपोज फॉर फाइनेंशियल ईयर 22-23 एनुअल रिटर्न को फाइल करने की जो ड्यू डेट है वो है 31 दिसंबर 2023, 31 दिसंबर 2023. In that case, departmental authority has to conclude the proceeding under section 73 within 3 years. That is 23 to 24, 25, 26. 31 दिसंबर 26 तक उनको इस फाइनेंशियल ईयर, दैट इज फाइनेंशियल ईयर 22-23 से रिलेटेड जो प्रोसीडिंग है वो अगर 73 के अंदर नोटिस दे रही है तो उनको 31 दिसंबर तक उसे कंक्लूड करना है. कंक्लूड करना है मींस फाइनल डिसीजन दे देना है. सो द टाइमलाइन टू इशू द नोटिस, कब तक वो सेक्शन 73 का नोटिस दे सकते हैं रिगार्डिंग फाइनेंशियल ईयर 22-23, तो 3 months prior to the timeline of section 73 subsection 10. So section 73 subsection 10 talks about the conclusion. So conclusion timeline is the 3 years from the due date of filing of annual return for the relevant financial year, that is for financial year 22-23 the due date will be 31st December 26. So in that case 30th September 2026 will be the due date for issuing the notices. This is the last date for issuing the notices under section 73. सर ये टाइमलाइन समझ आई क्या? सेक्शन 73 की टाइमलाइन समझ आई क्या? जस्ट कमेंट इन द चैट बॉक्स. थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है, सो आई एम आस्किंग विद यू, जस्ट कमेंट इन द चैट बॉक्स दैट द टाइमलाइन ऑफ सेक्शन 73 इज ओके फॉर यू. और आई नीड टू एक्सप्लेन अगेन, जस्ट कमेंट इन द चैट बॉक्स. Sir, I am waiting for your reply. You got the point regarding timeline of section 73 for issuing the notices and for concluding conclusion of the proceedings. Okay. सेक्शन 73 सबसेक्शन 2 इज ओके टू इश्यू द नोटिसेस जो एनुअल रिटर्न की फाइलिंग की ड्यू डेट्स है उसके 3 इयर्स तक उसको कंक्लूड करना है। सो टाइमलाइन कंक्लूजन के एक्सपायरी से 3 मंथ पहले तक यहाँ पर नोटिस जो है वो दिया जा सकता है अंडर सेक्शन 73 सबसेक्शन 2। नाउ Section 73 subsection 3 where a notice has been issued for any period under subsection 1 the proper officer may serve a statement containing the details। जब भी डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी इज गोइंग टू इश्यू द नोटिस अंडर सेक्शन 73 एट दैट टाइम विद दैट नोटिस दे आर आल्सो गोइंग टू इश्यू द statement with that notice। Okay, or in that particular statement they are going to provide that this type of amount you had wrongly availed the refund, this amount you had taken as an excess input tax credit, for this amount you had less paid output tax liability। So with the notice as per section 73 subsection 3 statement should be required, only notice is not sufficient in that case, statement is to be required। कुछ लोग बोल रहे हैं कि इसको रिपीट करना है, so I am going to repeat the same। Sir, for financial year 22-23, फॉर फाइनेंशियल ईयर 22-23 द एनुअल रिटर्न की फाइलिंग की ड्यू डेट होगी 31 दिसंबर 2023। ओके, सो एज पर सेक्शन 73 सबसेक्शन 10 ये बोलता है कि जो सेक्शन 73 की प्रोसीडिंग है यू नीड टू कंप्लीट विद इन 3 इयर्स फ्रॉम द ड्यू डेट ऑफ फाइलिंग ऑफ द एनुअल रिटर्न। सो फॉर फाइनेंशियल ईयर 22-23 से रिलेटेड अगर आपको सेक्शन 73 की प्रोसीडिंग्स को कंक्लूड करना है, इन दैट केस द मैक्सिमम टाइमलाइन इज 31 December 2026, that is 3 years from the due date of filing of annual return for that particular financial year। And as per section 73 subsection 2 आपको प्रोसीडिंग कंक्लूड करनी है 31 दिसंबर 2026 तक, तो नोटिस देने का क्या टाइम है, तो कंक्लूजन के मिनिमम 3 मंथ पहले तो आपको नोटिस देना ही पड़ेगा। This means the due date, the last date for issuing the notices regarding the section 73 will be 30th September 2023। If department fails to issue the notice, in that case they cannot start the proceeding under section 73। उसके बाद में वो केस पॉइंट ही क्लोज हो जाएगा। उसके बाद में सेक्शन 73 में कोई भी प्रोसीडिंग यहाँ पर नहीं की जा सकती। इफ यू आर गेटिंग सच टाइप ऑफ नोटिसेस, इन दैट केस यू कैन डायरेक्टली से दैट द नोटिस इज इनवैलिड, द नोटिस इज टाइम पार्ट। ओके सर, सो the timeline वाला concept is okay, 31 December 2026 and the last date to issue the notices is your 30th September 2026। महादेव जी, is that okay? Rahul ji, is that okay? सेक्शन 73 सबसेक्शन 4 सेज दैट सर जिस ग्राउंड्स पे आपने नोटिस इशू किया है, सपोज यूर डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी हैज इशूड द नोटिस ऑन द ग्राउंड्स द एक्सेस क्लेम्ड ऑफ इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट, इन दैट केस जो स्टेटमेंट आएगा वो भी सेम ग्राउंड्स पे होगा। ऐसा नहीं कि आपने नोटिस में केवल इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट का एक्सेस क्लेम डाला है और आप जो ग्राउंड स्टेटमेंट दे रहे हो उसमें आपने इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट का एक्सेस क्लेम भी है, आउटपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट का लेस पेमेंट भी है, सारी चीजें कवर नहीं कर सकते हो। जिस ग्राउंड्स पे whatever be the grounds you are using for the issuing the notices, the same ground should be used for the statement also, that means the ground should be same as per section 73 subsection 4। now section 73 subsection 5 says that before issuing the notices, departmental authority ने notice serve नहीं किया उससे पहले if you are going to make the payment along with interest, in that case there is no penalty, you just need to pay the tax and interest। suppose departmental authority is going to start proceeding under section 73, okay, and before starting that proceeding they are going to intimate me that we are going to start the proceeding, we are going to provide your notice under section 73। so अगर मैंने नोटिस से पहले if I am going to pay the interest and tax before issuing the notices, in that case there is no penalty will be levied। in case of section 73 there is no penal provision, okay, but I need to inform the same to the proper officer। okay, now section 73 subsection 6 says about that when I am going to provide the information to the departmental authority that sir I have already paid the tax along with interest, in that case departmental authority will drop the proceeding, departmental authority is not going to issue any notices to me under section 73। Section 73 subsection 7 says that suppose they are going to issue the notices for 1 lakh rupees under section 73 and I accept that there is a liability of 70,000 rupees and I had already paid the 70,000 rupees along with interest. In that case, departmental authority will only issue for the notices for the balance amount, that is for the 30,000. In that case, departmental authority is going to issue the notice just for 30,000, not for complete 1 lakh rupees. That is what is the concept of section 73 subsection 7. सेक्शन 73 सबसेक्शन 8 सेज दैट डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी ने नोटिस भी दे दिया अंडर सेक्शन 73, बट यहां पर आपका कोई फ्रॉड का इंटेंट नहीं है, कोई विलफुल मिस स्टेटमेंट नहीं है, कोई सप्रेशन ऑफ फैक्ट नहीं है. इन दैट केस departmental, if you are going to make the payment within 30 days from the issue of notices, in that case if you are going to make the payment, there is no penal provision, you just need to pay the tax and interest. So if you are going to make the payment before issuing the notice, there is no penalty. If you are going to make the payment within 30 days from the issue of notices, in that case also there is no penalty, you just need to pay the interest and taxes. Okay sir. Now section 73 subsection 9 says the proper official shall, after considering the representation if any made by the person chargeable with tax, determine the amount of tax, interest, penalty equivalent to 10% of tax or 10,000 rupees, whichever is higher. That means, as per section 73 subsection 9, if taxpayer is not going to make the payment within 30 days from the issue of notices, in that case there is a penalty, and penalty will be 10% of the tax liability or 10,000 rupees. इन दोनों में से जो भी ज्यादा होगा उसका आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा, यहाँ पर पेनल्टी का पेमेंट करना पड़ेगा. यू नीड टू मेक द payment of penalty. So if you are going to make the payment before notice, no penalty. If you are going to make the payment within 30 days, no penalty. If you are not going to make the payment within 30 days, in that case there is a penalty of 10% of tax amount or 10,000 rupees, whichever is higher. Okay sir. Section 73 subsection 10 talks about the timeline. We had already discussed 3 years from the due date of furnishing of the annual return for financial year to which tax not paid. Is that okay sir? Now section 73 subsection 11 is a very specific section and says about that जब आपने कोई टैक्स किसी बंदे से ले लिया कि मुझे आगे पे करना है, ओके, when you had claimed any tax from a person and you are not going to make the payment to the departmental authority in case of your GST or 3B, suppose आपने जो आउटपुट सप्लाई किया है तो आपने टैक्स तो कंज्यूमर से ले लिया, you had already taken the tax from the buyer. In that case, if you are not going to make the payment to the governmental authority on the specified due date, that is within 30 days from the due date of payment of such tax, suppose for March month the due date to file GST or 3B return is 20th April, and if you are not going to make the payment within 30 days from the 20th April, in that case आपको जो पेनल्टी का बेनिफिट है ना कि आप नोटिस इशू होने से पहले दे रहे हो या फिर नोटिस इशू होने के बाद विद इन 30 डेज, वो बेनिफिट नहीं मिलेगा. इन दैट केस यू नीड टू पे द पेनल्टी 10% of tax or 10,000 rupees, whichever is higher. Is that okay sir? सर राहुल जी का एक क्वेश्चन है कि पहले मैंने 5 इयर्स बोला था, 5 इयर्स टाइमलाइन वाज रिलेटेड टू द असेसमेंट ऑफ नॉन रिटर्न फाइलर्स एंड असेसमेंट ऑफ अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन, एंड दिस इज एन स्पेसिफिक सेक्शन अंडर सेक्शन 73 or 74. So the timeline for section 73 and 74 is that if you are not going to make the payment, if you are not going to make the payment due to the non filing of returns, in that case the timeline is 5 years, and in that case if there is any fraud, you are not going to file the return due to any fraud, in that case your case will be covered under section 74. Okay, but the timeline will be applicable is that specific section 73 74 is in a general term, but section related to section 62 63, that is assessment of non-return filers and assessment of unregistered person, is in a specific case. If this specific situation, the timeline is that. Okay Rahul ji. So in every law there is certain general provisions, certain specific provision. So section 62 63 is a specific provision and section 73 74 is a general provision, and always जो specific provision होंगे वो general provisions पे prevail करेंगे. That is what is the concept. Sir, section 73 is okay for you, so I am going to take the section 74. There is nothing difference between section 73 and 74 except the quantum of penalty. Just confirm me once that the concept of this section 73 is okay for you. Section 74. Determination of tax not paid, short paid, due to refund, due to fraud, due to willful misstatement, due to suppression of facts. In that case, section 74 will be applicable. If there is any fraud, if there is any willful misstatement, if there is any suppression of fact, in that case, the proceeding will be started under section 74 of CGST Act, or in that particular case, the timeline for issuing the notices is 6 months prior to the timeline specified in subsection 10. Sir, section 74 subsection 10 में जो टाइमलाइन स्पेसिफाइड है वो कंक्लूडिंग द प्रोसीडिंग इज suppose related to financial year 22-23 they want to take the case under section 74. In that case the timeline will be 5 years. Annual return की due date 31st December 2023. From that date 5 years will be the timeline to conclude the proceeding under section 74. That means 31st December 2028. Okay, and this is the timeline, that is 31st December 2023. That is 5 years from the due date of filing of annual return for that particular financial year will be the timeline to conclude the proceeding under section 74. Then what will be the timeline to issue the notices? So the minimum timeline, that is the last date to issue the notices regarding the financial year 22-23 will be 30th June 2028. That is 6 months prior to the timeline of concluding of the proceedings. That means यहाँ पर fraud है. What is the reason कि सेक्शन 73 में 3 मंथ्स का टाइम दिया, यहाँ पर 4 मंथ 6 मंथ्स का टाइम दिया. सेक्शन 73 के अंदर 3 इयर्स का टाइम था, सेक्शन 74 के अंदर 5 इयर्स का टाइम है. बिकॉज इन केस ऑफ फ्रॉड टाइमलाइन को यहाँ पर बढ़ाना पड़ेगा, उस लिमिट को यहाँ पर एनहांस करना पड़ेगा. बिकॉज इन केस ऑफ फ्रॉड उसको डिटेक्ट होने में कई बार टाइम लग जाता है. इन केस ऑफ फ्रॉड उस प्रोसीडिंग को कंक्लूड करने में टाइम लग जाता है. सो दैट द एक्सटेंडेड टाइमलाइन इज देयर. इज दैट ओके सर? नाउ section 73 subsection 4 says where a notice has been issued for any period under subsection 1, the proper officer may serve a statement containing the details of tax deposit and short paid. That means आपको जो नोटिस आ रहा है उसके साथ में स्टेटमेंट आने वाला है सेम एज पर सेक्शन 73. Section 74 subsection 4 says that the ground should be same in case of notice and in case of statement. We had already discussed on that. Section 74 subsection 5 says that if you are going to make the पेमेंट ऑफ टैक्स एंड इंटरेस्ट बिफोर सर्विस ऑफ नोटिस, डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी आपको नोटिस दे उससे पहले ही इफ यू आर गोइंग टू मेक द पेमेंट, इन दैट केस यू नीड टू पे द टैक्स इंटरेस्ट अलोंग विद द पेनल्टी इक्विवेलेंट टू 15% ऑफ द टैक्स. दैट मींस वहां पर सेक्शन 73 के अंदर इफ वी आर गोइंग टू मेक द पेमेंट बिफोर इश्यू ऑफ नोटिस, इन दैट केस देयर वाज नो पेनल्टी. बट इन केस ऑफ सेक्शन 74, इफ योर केस इज रिलेटेड टू फ्रॉड एंड विलफुल misstatement and suppression of facts, in that case if you are going to make the payment before issue of notices, in that case penalty will be 15% of the tax. Okay sir, and if you are going to make the payment before issuance of notice, in that case you need to inform the same to the departmental authority that we had already paid the tax along with interest and applicable penalty. In that case departmental authority is not going to issue any type of notices to you as per section 74 subsection 6. But if the demand was 1 lakh rupees and you had already paid the 80,000 rupees and the remaining demand is 20,000 rupees, in that case as per section 74 subsection 7, departmental authority is going to issue notice for that 20,000 only. जो बैलेंस पार्ट है उसके लिए ही यहाँ पर नोटिस इशू होने वाला है. Next, section 74 subsection 8 says that sir, If you are going to make the payment within 30 days from the issue of notices, in that case you need to pay the tax along with interest, and the penalty will be 25% of the tax within 30 days of issue of notices. Sir, if you are going to make the payment before issue of notices, in that case penalty will be 15% of tax. If you are going to make the payment within 30 days from the issue of notices, in that case penalty will be 25% of the tax. Okay, sir. Now, section 74, subsection 9, the proper officer shall, after considering the representation, if any made by the person chargeable with tax, determine the amount of tax, interest, penalty due from such person and issue and notices. Okay, sir. Section 74, subsection 5 talks about subsection 10 talks about the timeline. We had already discussed that if departmental authority is going to issue start the proceeding under section 74, then the timeline is फाइनेंशियल ईयर, जिस भी स्पेसिफिक फाइनेंशियल ईयर से रिलेटेड दे वांट टू इश्यू द स्टार्ट द प्रोसीडिंग अंडर सेक्शन 74, उसके 5 इयर्स के अंदर अंदर उसको कंक्लूड करना पड़ेगा ना. Section 74 subsection 11 says that in case if you are not going to provide the reply within 30 days, if you are not going to make the payment interest within 30 days from the issue of notices, in that case there is a penalty of 50% equal to the tax. So, in case of section 73, जहां पर fraud नहीं था, if you are going to make the payment before issue of notices, no penalty. Within 30 days, no penalty. After 30 days, 10% of tax or 10,000, whichever is higher. But in case of section 74, if you are going to make the payment before issuance of notices, in that case, penalty will be 15% of tax. If you are going to make the payment within 30 days from the issue of notices, penalty will be 25% of tax. And if you are going to make the payment after 30 days of issuance of notice, in that case, penalty will be 50% of the tax. सर इज दैट ओके? जस्ट कंफर्म में इन द चैट बॉक्स. जब हमने सेशन स्टार्ट किया था करीबन 2 घंटे हम लोग हो गए, 1 hour and 45 minutes we had completed and we had started our discussion from section 59 of CGST Act, that is self assessment. After that we had discussed on the provisional assessment. After that हम लोगों ने section 61 the scrutiny of the returns ASMD 10, 11 or 12. Then after we had discussed on assessment of non-return filers. Then we had discussed on the assessment of unregistered person, section 63. Then summary assessment, section 64. Section 64, audit by the departmental authority. Section 66, special audit, audit by a chartered accountant or a post accountant. Sir, असिस्टेंट कमिश्नर उसको ऑर्डर देने वाला है. एंड सेक्शन 73 एंड 74 रिगार्डिंग डिमांड एंड रिकवरी. सेक्शन 73 will covered under the case of fraud and willful misstatement, and section 74 will cover under the willful misstatement and fraud, and section 73 will not cover the cases of fraud and misstatement. Is that okay, sir? Everything is fine till now? एक छोटा सा डिस्कशन हम लोग कर लेते हैं. हम लोगों ने सेक्शन पढ़ लिया, सेक्शन 73, 74. अब नोटिसेस किस फॉर्म में इशू होंगे, क्या मैनर रहता है. सो यहाँ पर रूल, देयर इज एन स्पेसिफिक रूल इज अवेलेबल रिगार्डिंग रूल 142 एंड वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस ऑन दैट रूल, एंड आफ्टर दैट वी आर गोइंग टू कंक्लूड द सेशन. ओके, सो रूल नंबर 142. sir, in that case, if they are going to issue the proceeding under section 73, 74, in that case summary should be uploaded on the electronically on the portal in form DRC01. Okay, sir. And statement under subsection 1 should be uploaded in form DRC02. That means summary should be uploaded in DRC01 and statement should be uploaded on DRC02. And before issuing the notices, sir, एक डाउट आप लोगों के दिमाग आया होगा कि हमने बोला कि before issuance of notices अगर वो पेमेंट कर दे तो there was no penalty in case of section 73 and in case of 74 there was a penalty of 15% of tax. तो कैसे पता चलेगा before issuance of notices? तो यहाँ पर डिपार्टमेंटल अथॉरिटी एक कम्युनिकेशन देती है इन फॉर्म पार्ट ए ऑफ फॉर्म DRC 01A. Departmental authority will issue part A DRC 01A. In that form, they are going to intimate you that we are going to issue the notices to you under section 73 and 74. So you want, then you can pay the taxes. And before issuing notices, if you are going to make the payment, you can avail the benefit of penalty. Now, before the service of notice or statement, if you are going to make the payment, in that case you need to make the payment in form DRC 03 and departmental authority will going to acknowledge the same in form DRC 04. Sir, Before issuing of notices, they are going to intimate you in form part A of form DRC 01A, and you need to make the payment in DRC 03, and they are going to acknowledge the same in form DRC 04. But suppose the liability was related to 1 lakh rupees and we are going to make payment of only 80,000 rupees. In that case, प्रपोज लाइबिलिटी के लिए अगर आपके पास में कोई सबमिशन है फॉर दैट 20,000 रुपीज, in that case you can file your reply, you can file your submission in part B of form GST DRC 01A. Okay, sir. And after that, if departmental authority is going to satisfy with you, in that case, they are going to acknowledge the same. And if they are not going to satisfy with that, in that case, they are going, you need to pay the taxes in form DRC 03. Is that okay, sir? सो बेसिकली जो रूल्स सेक्शन 73 और 74 से रिलेटेड थे, वो सारे के सारे हमने आज के सेशन में कवर कर लिए हैं. इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन, इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट, इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेरी, इन दैट केस यू आर फ्री टू रेज द सेम इन द चैट बॉक्स. ऑल्सो व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप इज देयर, you can post your queries in that WhatsApp group. You should be there in that WhatsApp group. I am also there in that WhatsApp group, so that we can discuss on various issues in that WhatsApp group. And uh, today we had covered each and everything related to the audit and assessment, the provisions related to audit and assessment, certain practical aspects related to audit and assessment. Multiple case studies हमारे पास में है, multiple scenarios हमारे पास में है, but time limited है. So I had just covered the provisions of law. I had just tried to clear the concept regarding the audit and assessment, the various issues under audit and assessment, and also discussed with you. So if you have any query, you can comment in the chat box. Also, you can WhatsApp me the queries if you have any query, or you can take time from me. You can also call me. There is no issue with that. Okay, sir. So thanks to all of you, your patience, learning. Thanks. I just want that whatever will be your feedback, whatever will be your suggestions for this session, for this live webinar, you just need to put the same in the WhatsApp group, so that it is a great appreciation for me. It is a great reward for me. So I am expecting your certain feedbacks, your suggestions in the WhatsApp group from each and everyone. So thank you, sir. Thank you. Stay connected for more updates, and thank you for the patience learning. Thank